as many people as we can. This is plantar fasciitis that I'm talking about today. Had a client come in with plantar fasciitis. They've had it for a long time. They've tried many different things and they're really struggling. So they've been through the gamut, and I want to show you some really simple things that you can do that are non-invasive, that are super easy. Well, for the most part, you have to do them, right? So let's talk about what plantar fasciitis is. So again, what happened was I have quite often actually people come with plantar fasciitis as an issue that they might have. And this is, so what is plantar fasciitis? So what is plantar? Plantar's foot. Okay, so it's going to be something going on with the foot, and fascia. So if you break down the word fasciitis, fascia is tissue. And then itis is the inflammation or the issue that we're dealing with. So it's inflammation of tissue in the foot, essentially. And bone spurs, things around the feet can cause us so much pain. It's a definite problem. I totally get it. I've experienced it myself. And so I want to show you some tips, and I want to give you a broader picture of plantar fasciitis. A lot of times people will go in and get arch support. So that's usually they get diagnosed with it, and then they get prescribed arch support, some rolling in the calves. And I've seen that hit or miss and not totally handle the pain. So for sure, arch is an issue, but the arch is a symptom. So if you have a fallen arch and you need arch support, that's actually a symptom. Also calf being tight, that's a symptom of other things that are going on. So what we want to do, and what I'm always teaching my clients in all of my Yogilachi program, that's all about finding root cause of what's going on. When I work one-on-one, it's about really focusing on getting to root causes for people, because it is, to keep finding ways of band-aiding our issues will never get to what you need, will never solve your problem. So we don't want to look for a band-aid. We want to actually look for the root cause. And when we find the root cause, you're going to have so much better results and faster results. Okay, so I'm going to have, where did my ball go? I'm going to show you a simple tool that you can use. You can use a tennis ball. This is a softer ball. I prefer the softer balls for the feet. So tennis ball, softer. You don't want a lacrosse ball. Likely that's going to just cause more harm than good. Let me just go down the first protocol. If I had plantar fasciitis, I would be doing an Epsom salt foot bath every night. A lot of people are so deficient in nutrients right now that, just getting some magnesium in there. I'll talk about nutrition another time. Right now, I'm just going to talk about tools that you can do right now. Epsom salt bath, warm Epsom salt foot bath every night. I'd be doing that. Okay. I think that is an easy, non-invasive, wonderful tool to have in your arsenal. And I would do that. I would also, they say stretch the calves and all that. The calves, yeah, you can stretch the calves or roll the calves, but it's really also, it's the foot. So what I'm going to do, we won't disrupt Gigi here. So I'm going to take this foot, the ball, and put it down on the floor. Sorry about it, it's all good. So with that, what I'm going to do is put the ball right under my arch, and I'm going to put some pressure on it and then release it. Now, it's not about the pressure that I'm putting on, it's about the release. It's like if you squeeze a sponge out and you're squeezing out all the moisture, and then you release it and it lets it come back to its size again. Like if it dries out, imagine a sponge that dries out, and if it dries out in a bent shape or a pulled shape, it's dysfunctional, right? It's like, oh, well, that's not even getting the surface area that I want of the sponge. But then you go and rinse it out, you put some moisture in it, and then you squeeze it out, and then it bounces back into its shape again. Think of it that way. Think of your tissue in your feet being, oftentimes they are I want to talk about the whole body, because even though it is the feet, the whole body affects the feet, and the feet affect the whole body. The whole body affects the feet, and vice versa, right? So oftentimes what I'll see is when someone comes in with feet issues, specifically that's their number one complaint, is I'll look at the whole body, but I'll look at the feet, and let's say they're pronated, or they're heavy on the outside. Oftentimes it's they're falling in. And so what I can look at right there is that the muscles in the pelvis are not turned on. And the reason they're not turned on often is because there's a misalignment in the pelvis, in the hips, which then has compensated in the femur bone, the long bone of the leg. And so then we get some wonky things going on, and then we get the feet, and every single time you're stepping, you're compounding that effect. Or if you're at a standing desk, which I'm all for, but if you're standing in place for a really long time and you're standing in these wonky ways, you're compounding misalignment, which is then going to compound down into your feet. And then you want to go take a walk. Maybe you want to start exercising again because we're opening up. And then you go on a long walk, and then you've got misalignment going on. And of course, that is going to cause a lot of that pain in the feet, because the fascia, the tissue, is being pulled in one area, and there's compensation. This is another illustration I give. I'll just use my shirt. Okay, so let's say if I pull and start to turn my shirt, come a little closer so you can see this. Okay, so if I pull on my shirt here, you can see these lines here. So if I pull a little bit more, you can see more lines pulling. And I can feel it back here when I'm pulling way down here. So it's the same thing. So you've got the feet, and if you've got pulls or tangles or knots in any area of the body, remember everything's connected from the eyebrows all the way to the toes. If there's a pull pattern in any area of the body, it's going to pick up in weak links. And with that, so that alignment of the feet, when we're out of alignment, we've got some issues. So you're noticing with it, if you have a tennis ball or if you have a soft ball, you can just do almost like wringing out and releasing, putting some pressure on there and releasing. Not so much that it's painful. You're not trying to create pain. And you can go to every part of it, because even the big toe, the toes are connected all the way up. Now, the other thing on alignment of the feet is, think of your feet and your toes as part of the surface area, and they need to make contact. So if you're in tight shoes and there's only a tiny bit of a surface area, we want to spread those toes apart. And you want to be connecting with your first knuckle, the ball of your foot, as well as the fifth, that's your pinky, part of the ball of the foot, right? So you want that whole surface area connecting. And then when you start to do that, you'll probably start to feel different connections. Maybe you'll even feel sensation going up. If you're really self-aware, you're going to feel connections going up your calves and at your probably at your Achilles, and maybe even up behind your legs, maybe even in the knee area as you start coming back into alignment. And it's going to wake up these different places that have gotten tight and pulled on the different, creating tension patterns in the body. So if you've got the first knuckle and the fifth knuckle placed on the floor, and then you're pushing gently down on the heel evenly, all of a sudden we've got, instead of the knees knocking in or rolling out, if you're heavy on the outside of your foot, we now become aware of having the feet planted in an alignment. And then every step we take, we walk with our feet in alignment. And that's going to start to shift how we do things. We want to look for, is there a repetitive pattern that you're doing on a daily basis that's causing that plantar fasciitis, right? So we want to look at those things. And becoming more self-aware is going to help a lot, because I see over and over how we're looking at one specific issue and we're masking it with, we're using the symptom as our solution, and it's not. We need to go deeper and find out what's going on with the whole body. But right off, here are the top 3 things I would be doing. I do an Epsom salt foot bath every day, a warm one. Doesn't need to be super hot. It's nice and warm, get the magnesium in there. So Epsom salt's great. I would get a tennis ball or get something like a soft ball and do foot washing. We call this foot washing here. So we're just putting some gentle pressure and releasing it. And we're going to try to get every little nook and cranny of your foot. All right. Work on alignment. Find your sense of alignment. With just the feet, if you were just to focus on aligning the feet, it will help the rest of the body. Coming into the good posture. I have so many videos on posture. So find some of those videos on posture and begin working on your posture, and knowing that your feet are part of your posture will make a huge difference. So that first knuckle, 5th knuckle connected, the toes like tires on a car, spreading them out gently. You want to press gently through your heel. And then if your arch is actually fallen, so there's some stretches you could do if you have a fallen or a flatter foot. You do want to restore that arch of your foot, and it's not done by wearing arch support. That's like a crutch. So your leg, it won't actually ever help to develop it. So you want to actually be working on getting that arch support restored. This is a muscle here. This is a muscle. And if you just have an arch support, it won't tell the muscle that, hey, you need to turn on and work. And that muscle goes all the way up the leg. And when it's connected and turned on, and all of it's powered on, you're going to have a lot more functionality in that foot, and a lot less pain, because of the default modes. That everything's having to pick up with that slack and other things. I mean, every individual, I believe, has their own unique experience. So you want to be assessing, not just guessing what's going on. But right off, I hear just too many kind of convoluted ideas about what plantar fasciitis is, and let's get in there and roll and dig, and I don't think you need to be rolling and digging too much. In fact, you want to release the tissue of that, especially if the feet are really having a tough time. And so looking for that alignment. So you could do some simple stretches, but yeah, we want to restore the arch. Arch support doesn't necessarily do that. Remember, that's kind of a crutch. So we want to get stronger from the inside out. We don't want to bring in crutches and doodads and things that are replacing our ability to actually function in every little part of our body. The feet are so important, and they're so amazing, and they're so beautiful, and they shouldn't hurt. And when they do hurt, oh my gosh, I know how they hurt. I grew up with huge feet. I had size 10 at 6th grade. So I was trying to crush my feet, cram them into a size 8. And so my feet grew, and I have had bunions really badly at a young age. But as a result of understanding this, I was able to really correct a lot of dysfunction in my own feet because of wearing super tight shoes and pointy shoes all the time, and cowboy boots that were super pointy. So these things you can change, you can correct. You don't have to have major surgery. I'm not against surgery. I'm not against anything. I'm saying, and I'm really for you coming back into understanding your own body and using very simple tools and tools like movement is a tool, nutrition is a tool, an Epsom salt bath is a tool in your toolbox. We don't need so many more things to buy. If we have your own body, you have your own body. I have equipment that I use, but 90% of Yogilachi is done without equipment. The Yogilachi program is done without equipment. 90% of it. It's all your own body. We do have a foam roller. I do have balls and some bands. But other than that, it's really you relearning, reconnecting to your body. And it's the same with the feet. I hope this helps. I hope you got a couple of tips from it, and that will make a difference. You go apply them and see, especially if you are suffering from plantar fasciitis. I totally know it's no fun feet hurt when you're suffering like that, and the rest of the body is impacted as a result. So try those things, Epsom salt bath, do some foot washing, maybe do the work on some gentle stretches. The foot washing is a big one. What else? And then the posture, right? Getting the whole body, getting alignment back in those feet. Okay. All right. Until next time, I'm Stefana Johnson. You can reach out at yogilachi.com. I've got an awesome rapid results coming out in July, so you can grab that. Or if you need some one-on-one support, you can go to stefana.net and book a time on my calendar. Okay. Bye for now.